The Value of Negativity, posted on October 23rd, 2011. A lot of people who get some understanding on law of attraction seem to get even more rooted in fear because now they are afraid of their negative thoughts because they feel they are going to attract negative realities every time they have a negative thought in their mind. This fear causes severe paranoia towards negative thoughts in many people. I got an email some time back where a person mentioned that he was living in stark fear of his mind because he was constantly worried if it would pop up a new negative thought. He was staying in fearful anticipation of the thoughts that his mind was going to come up with. This behavior started in him after he read about law of attraction, on how negative attracts negative and positive attracts positive. He was rooted in the fear of the negative attracts negative part of the deal. There are many people who become paranoid of negative thinking when they start realizing that their thoughts have the power to create realities. The truth, however, is that negativity has a value in the whole scheme of things. It's not as potent as you believe it to be, and it's not something you need to run away from. It's just something you need to consciously reduce focus from. The value of negativity from an absolute perspective. From the perspective of source energy that you are, which is a pure positive energy, there is a huge value for negativity because it's only through the contrast of negative that the positive can know itself. Without the dark, light cannot ever recognize its nature as light. Without experiencing hate, love cannot recognize what love really is. Without experiencing joy, fear cannot recognize what fear really is. So in order for this pure positive energy to recognize aspects of itself, it's important for it to experience the other end of the spectrum, the contrast. If you were living in paradise all your life, you would not know what paradise really is. It's only when you step out of paradise for a while can you come back and recognize the bliss of the paradise. It's only when you stand out in the sun for a while can you appreciate the bliss of the shade. For paradise to know itself as paradise, it has to experience the other side of it. It has to step out of its vibration of bliss to finally recognize itself as bliss. If you can follow the pointer given in these statements, you'll be able to find a resonance in your heart, a remembrance of what this play of life is all about. It's all about life recognizing itself. All the creations are just mirrors through which life can reflect upon itself and know itself. Source energy does not fear negativity. The energy that you are is already permanently pure positive, and this will always be its natural vibration. So it has no fear of ever being harmed or altered. This invincibility allows it the freedom to come forth into the manifestation of physicality, to play in this realm and experience the contrast and appreciate its true nature. Every time you appreciate a beautiful sunrise, life as you recognizes its vibration of joy. Also, every time you recognize that hatred does not feel right to you, life recognizes itself as love. Another benefit of contrasting experiences is that it becomes the platform for new desires to come forth, and thus new creations can come forth in the non-physical energy that you are and take forms in the physical. This allows for a continuation in the movement of life stream, and most importantly, it allows for new experiences in your energy space. When you see something negative, you automatically desire something positive. This desire becomes the clay for new creations and new experiences. Also, the experience of the negative enables you to appreciate the positive energy that you are. When you've experienced fear, you relish the joy of relief from it. One doesn't have to go to extremes, though from the absolute perspective it's not an issue, and it's much more enjoyable when you are no far down in negativity. Once you become conscious and start disidentifying from the negativity, you will reach a point where you are mostly in vicinity of your natural vibration most of the time. This is a good place to be, and it allows for a smooth life. You appreciate this place more because you've seen the lower end of the spectrum and experienced its disconnection. The mind helps life know itself. The energy of life is pure positive, so it basically has no way of ever producing negative thoughts. So it comes up with the manifestation of this machine we call our brain. This brain is the creation of pure positive energy that you essentially are, but its makeup allows it to have the capacity to think negatively also, because it's basically designed as a survival machine that primitively looks to interpret reality from the perspective of survival. So the mind can think positively or negatively. In other words, the mind has the capacity to go to the other end of the spectrum, the negative, and thus allow the positive part of you to get an experience of the contrast, and thus through this experience recognize itself. Just imagine the intelligence and innocence of this energy that you are, that it created the mind purely for the purpose of giving it the experience of contrast, so it could appreciate itself as what it is. So the negativity of the mind serves a greater purpose in the sense that it allows for a contrast to be available, which allows the invitation to align back with the natural vibration. Without this contrast, there would be no way to really recognize the bliss of your natural vibration. Can you sense that there is a part of you that is totally fearless, even in the midst of intensely negative situations? Something in you already knows your invincibility, and hence is enjoying the raw experience of life. Don't worry so much about manifesting negativity. The good news is that the essential energy that you are in your wholeness is pure positive in nature, so it does not have the capacity to focus on negative thoughts. It can only take up the vibration of your desires, or positive thoughts of creation, and it gives focus to these positive thoughts. So as a whole, life is always in a movement towards well-being. The only source that gives attention to negative thoughts of the mind is the mind itself. It's true that the mind's focus has the capacity to create realities, because mind is made up of the same creative energy that created it. But unfortunately, the mind does not have the capacity to focus for long. You will notice that your mind is very fickle in its power of focus, and is most like a monkey jumping from one thought to another in the span of a few seconds. This ensures that enough focus is not given to any negative thought enough to really manifest it. However, some humans are so chronically negative in their thinking that close to 95% of their thoughts are negative, which means that their mind is always focusing on something negative during the waking hours. This causes huge resistance to the positive movement of your life stream, and also causes the attraction of a generally negative reality owing to this constant focus. But even in the midst of such chronic negativity, well-being is always dominant in some way or the other, because the larger part of you is focused positively all the time. Just imagine how much positivity can flow into your reality if you would just relax some of your focus on negativity. Even if you do end up manifesting some negative realities, it's not a big deal from the perspective of the energy that you are. All you need to do is let go of the focus on negative thinking, slowly and steadily, and your reality will automatically start shifting back into the positive. Some of the best adventures in life are had when a person moves from a negative reality into a positive reality through conscious alignment. I've personally been privy to such an experience as I moved from a chronically negative vibration to a positive vibration. Ultimately, it's good to realize that everything has a place in this play of life, even stark negativity. You don't have to feel bad about the negative realities you create unconsciously. They are a good platform for you to now relish the well-being of the positive realities that will unfold once you start aligning with your natural vibration. From the absolute perspective, it's all good.